So, the next practice we're going to learn is a labeling thoughts practice. So, as we've learned, that the mind just goes. When it's done, you're dead. It's going to keep going. And no matter what, no matter how long you sit, and no matter how long you meditate, your brain is going to keep making thoughts. And in this practice, we're just going to watch it, mostly. And the tool we're going to sort of learn today is to label them. So that the idea is, as you're sitting, you're noticing, we're going to start focusing on our breath. Just experiencing the breath. It can be how your inhale feels through your nose. Time for the recording. How the inhale feels through the nose, how the rise and fall of the chest or the stomach feels. Whatever sort of makes itself known to you is where you want to focus. And that as thoughts arise, you're going to label them. And you have a little leeway with this so that you can label them thoughts, thought. And as it arises, like label it just generally as thought or thinking. You can also get a little specific, if your thoughts tend to have patterns, like planning, like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this thing, you can label it planning. If it's fretting thoughts, it can be worrying.
Like zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, if there's zombie apocalypse, we could label those zombie apocalypse thoughts. I think they get their own.
I think they should.
Or it could be judging. I get a lot of judging thoughts coming up, and whether they're judging me or they're judging like what's going on, like thoughts of like this is the dumbest thing I've done all day. Just label. And that the whole point is to not judge the thoughts as they come up. So if you're having a ton of judgy thoughts, is to not then go, man, I'm so judgmental. That it's not, I will always advocate that meditation is not a tool you use to punish yourself with. This is not what it's about. That if you're feeling bad, like my practice isn't where I want it to be, or like I just have so many thoughts, like I'm a bad meditator, like no, everything is fine. Like whatever is happening is what's happening, and that's it. So that no matter what thoughts are arising, treating yourself with an air of tenderness and kindness is really important. So that what this practice helps us do is sort of differentiate between ourselves and our observing mind and our thinking mind. Because like I said, thoughts just go. And that even when we stop and see them and notice them and disassociate from them, they're still happening. Like those thoughts aren't real, they're just coming up, but that doesn't stop them. Sometimes it can help kind of quell the craziness of the thoughts, that it can soften a little bit, but not even necessarily. Like that's not a given, that just sometimes happens. So that with everything that happens, treating it with an air of non-judgment, that everything is allowed, observe. That's one of the roots of mindfulness, really, is just observing without judgment.
Does self-compassion come in here somewhere?
I think self-compassion comes in everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That goes with, like, if not judging your thoughts, that if horrible things are coming up, that doesn't make you horrible. It's just the thoughts that are happening. You are not the thoughts.
You're the seer.
Yeah, you're the seer of the thoughts. And so that this is helping us identify where, it can get a little blurry, like where I stop and the mind starts. And there's a little like weirdness going on with that. But that this is helping us to separate, separate's the wrong word, to see our thoughts. Cora uses the metaphor of the river a lot, so that if there is a river, it's always gonna flow. Like the river just keeps flowing. You're not trying to stop the flow, but maybe you can sit on the shore and watch it instead of be in the middle of it.
Dangle your toes.
Yeah, that you can watch it and observe the river, not like drown in it. Does that make sense?
So like your movie screen metaphor from before.
From the other day.
Yeah.
This is just a tool to help understand that the thoughts that arise are separate and containable, and we don't necessarily have control over them. We kind of get a say with where our attention goes. And that the more time we practice focusing our attention intentionally, where we are actually impacting our the neurons in our brain. Have you guys heard the term neuroplasticity? Mm-hmm. Is a term you all know? That in actively working to change the way your mind works, even if it's just, that's not what I'm thinking about right now, this is what I'm thinking about right now. Like not that, the breath. That changes the way your neurons connect. And it makes like a big difference neurologically, actually. So yeah, what we are going to do is we're going to find our meditation position, and I'm going to give you specific instructions as we go. But the general idea is that we are going to be focusing on our breath, and as thoughts arise, as they are going to do, that you can label them as vaguely and generally as you want, or as specifically as you want. What can happen is people can get a little wrapped up in like, I'm not labeling correctly. That was a planning thought, not a judging thought, or that was a like wanting's not the right word to describe this thought, and like that it doesn't matter. If you have to work for it, you're working too hard. This is effortless. Everything should be effortless. So that if you're getting wrapped up in what the thought should be called, just call it a thought. That it doesn't actually matter. The only reason not the only reason, but one of the reasons that you would label them specifically is so that you can start to notice some patterns, which can be helpful when if you're sitting back with yourself and like learning about yourself. Like, oh, I'm judging a lot. Interesting. Or then it just helps us gain another level of awareness of ourselves. Yeah?
Cool.
Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. So let's find our meditation postures. Feel free to sit with your eyes open or closed. Draw the attention to the breath. Wherever it's making itself known to you. Notice the feeling of your feet resting against the floor. Notice the feeling of your hands in your lap. Notice the feeling of your body relaxing into the chair. Allow your attention to gently settle on your breath. As you again find that place in your body where you can most easily feel the sensations of your breath moving in and out. watching with curiosity an entire in-breath, watching with a sense of warmth and patience an entire out-breath. When you notice your mind has wandered, see if you can just briefly observe the thoughts without judging them, perhaps labeling thinking, and then gently let them go by returning your awareness to the sensations of your breath, your anchor to your present moment experience. When your mind wanders, practice noticing that thoughts are arising. If you notice that a certain type of thought pattern returns repeatedly, like planning, wanting, or judging, you can use those words for your labels. If there is not a clear pattern, just continue to label your thoughts as thinking, and then release them by returning your attention to the in and out of your breath. If you're lost in thought, notice that, label it, and gently return your attention to the sensations of your breath, noting the rise and fall of your breath as it moves in and out of your body. Again, letting your breath be your anchor to your present moment experience. thoughts now? Can you notice and accept each thought? Letting it pass through your mind without clinging to it or judging it. When you hear the bell ring, make a commitment to bring this level of awareness to all of your experiences today.